श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. So, Bhagavan says that better is one's own duty, though destitute of merits it could be, than the duty of another well performed. He who does the duty ordained by his own nature incurs no sin. See, this first half of this shloka had come earlier also. In the 3rd chapter, when Bhagavan was explaining about karma yoga, in that also Bhagavan had specified this matter, that why don't we stick to our own duties? Why do you look into another's maybe more glorious an act? Why don't I perform my own duty? It could be not very meritorious or whatever. It could be very ordinary work, some ordinary performance work. But it will give me the best. Why? Because you see, just the previous one Bhagavan had told that one who worships me by performance of one's own duty, right? So, in fact, maybe from here we have picked up work is worship. No, it is not so. It is worshipping through our work. Worshipping Him through our work is the right statement, not that work is worship. If work is worship, then God is not required, right? But if worshipping Him through our work, then definitely Bhagavan is required. What is this Bhagavan? Bhagavan is my own divine nature, my true divinity, right? So if I perform with constantly remaining with the supreme divinity in me, definitely the performance will be of superior quality, and also it will incur no sin. Why? Because it is sinful to forget one's own true self itself, right? Egocentric act itself is a sinful act, no matter how glorious it seems to be, or no matter how demeritorious or whatever it is, whatever lowly, ordinary kind of a work it seems to be. But if it is done with the attitude of complete surrender to the supreme divinity within and being united well with the divinity within, if I perform that ordinary work also, it is going to fetch me perfection. Why? Because that is perfection. To be with the divine is perfection. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. We had done that also. Yoga is the dexterity in action. Dexterity in action is not yoga. Yoga is dexterity in action. While remaining well united with the divine, performance of act itself is superior. So again Bhagavan repeats. So when Bhagavan has repeated something, definitely it is very important for the seeker. As much it was important in initial stages of our sadhana, even at the later stages of our sadhana, this itself is very important. What? Because as we evolve, we start forgetting about the divine, because we start feeling, oh, now I am great because I don't get angry, because I don't have lust, I don't have greed. Oh, all that can happen even because I am growing up in my age. Age also is a factor to sometimes change my attitude and things. It could be my failures in life that subdued my desires. It could be so. Or maybe it inflamed my desires more when I am a failure in life. So these outer circumstances are not being considered here. It is the inner evolution which is so important in life. So, Swadharma, first of all, to always remain sincere towards one's own dharma, duty. based upon varna and ashrama. How many times Bhagavan would have indicated this? Why? Because varna, caste, indicates my inner quality, which is determining my temperament. According to that, and also keeping in mind my ashrama in life, that is, in which stage or level of my life am I? Whether I am a brahmachari or a vanaprasthi or a grihastha or a sannyasin, according to that, whatever duties are mine. Viguna, it could be not very glorious, not very profound, meritorious, but yes, it is important. Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan na apnoti kilvisham. If I am motivated by my swabhava, that is my inherent tendencies, and accordingly if I am performing my duties, not that I am fulfilling my desires according to my swabhava, then there is no question of evolution. First condition is, of course, that I am focusing on sublimating my ego by way of performance. Now, what do I perform? For that, I will look into the duties that are ordained by the scriptures as per my varna and ashrama. And while performing, the third point is that I have to remember very well that I have to be well connected with the divine in me. Now, to be connected with the divine does not mean that I keep taking name of God and that is sufficient. That cannot be sufficient. See, union with the divinity in me will definitely mean that I am refraining from negativities, from lower instincts and things like that. Of course, I will be motivated by my virtues, etc., right? I cannot be motivated by my vices if I am connected with the divine. So, it cannot be that I am taking the name of God, but I am doing everything contrary to virtues. It cannot be so. Then that is not called as connection with the divine, right? So, every left and right I am telling lies and I am manipulating, I am unethical in my dealing with the world, and I am having some immoral activities. I have got a very lowly character, but I am taking the name of God, but I am worshipping God. Every now and then, at every occasion, I am worshipping God. Is that going to work for me? Not. That is not called union with the divine anyway. So, all through the Bhagavad Gita, we have seen that Bhagavan has stressed upon certain qualities that are a must in the very character of the seeker, without which no evolution can be possible. So, again, Bhagavan has reminded us that do not bother about what sort of work has come in hand due to your, it could be your prarabdham, it could be your destiny, right? It could be your inherent tendency, it could be your dharma, duty towards your appointed level in life, status, it can be some circumstance, whatever comes across. Let me perform diligently, sincerely, remaining focused well on the Supreme, and let me not have the doership, very strong doership, and the greed of enjoyership. Yes, be calm from within, perform happily. Oh, this has come to me today, and this I'll have to perform to the best of my ability. Oh, Supreme Divinity, please help me to remain united with you and perform nicely. So this, in other words, we also pray in this manner. What is that? Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi adyat sakalam parasmai Narayanayeti samarpayami. If we sincerely pay attention to what we chant, we will understand that it is told in a couplet as to what should be the attitude while performance of action. It is not only to be restricted to while I'm worshipping that I have to chant this, or while in the morning I'll have to chant this, or in the evening I'll have to chant this. No, no, no. This gives us in a gist as to what Bhagavad Gita is telling us, that this is the way to perform. In thought, word and deed, I have to be connected with the Supreme and dedicate all my actions to Narayana, my true self, that is Narayana. Here I have become conditioned by my own ego and its paraphernalia, and I have become Nara. I have actually Narayan and I have become Nara. What is this? Just because of all these conditionings? No, I have to shed the conditionings. And for that, I don't need a very special kind of any activity. No, the same. So here, see, what a beautiful indication that Bhagavad Gita is not pushing us away from our family or duties or duty towards our society or our country. Nothing at all. Be where you are, but perform differently with different attitude, not a different act. Do the same things, but with different attitude, with different mindset. So, people unnecessarily leave everything and go away as though by leaving things and by leaving the family and leaving your duty and leaving your work, you become a sannyasin. Not at all. Bhagavan has begun this chapter with the explanation about Tyaga and Sannyasa, and in that continuation, Bhagavan is explaining something and is leading us towards Sannyasa in a very beautiful manner. It's maturity from within that takes us to Sannyasa, not by shedding things that we come to Sannyasa. It will come back to us. If the inside is not changed and only the external garbs have been changed, then very soon this so-called sannyasin is coming back to all those things like putting up a factory or industry and making, running after power and fame and all that will come back. Is that sannyasa? Not at all. It's immaturity. It's fooling oneself much before fooling others in this society. It is fooling oneself. So that should never happen. And if truly I focus upon the divine, I have understood the false imagination of this world around me, for which I won't be running after the objects or having the urge to earn some fame and wealth and things like that from objective world. No, 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 not at all. Very nicely Bhagavan has told us how a seeker has to develop from within.